Hi, hello, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Tone's Market Analysis for Sunday, February 12th, 2017. Welcome, everyone that's watching this live. Please ask questions, starting with capital word question in the group chat so I can get to them at the end. I will try and keep these to 30 minutes. I've been able to be successful at that the last couple of times I've done it. So we'll jump right into it. I finally had time to update my blog this weekend. The most recent post is my interview with Jeff Berwick at the Dollar Vigilante. You'll also see the latest Bitcoin group. And of course, the Crypto Scam podcast is now up to episode 5. I need to start editing episode 6 now. It's been recorded. The sound and video should be significantly better. The Dash episode continues to cause some controversy. Speaking of the Jeff Berwick's podcast, we did talk about Anarchapulco, which is coming up in just 2 weeks. I will be teaching a class on how to do technical trading. I'm not selling anything. I'm just charging not even that much money for my time of 2 days and just go over the basics of trading. You can see the description right here. I'm going to talk about candlesticks, moving averages, momentum indicators, some other patterns, other trading techniques, how to look for gaps, how to plan, and basically how to live as a trader, because that's what I do. My life is trading, though it feels like my life is Bitcoin, but it's really trading. I already got a question. I'll save the questions for the end, but this one is very simple. Do I use Ichimoku clouds? I personally do not. I know people that swear by them, but I don't use them. I do not have a good reason as to why I don't use them, probably because a lot of the technical analysis I learned on my own, and that one wasn't taught to me. So because it wasn't taught, I did look it up. I know what it is, but because I didn't start my trading career using it, it wasn't an indicator that caught my attention later. On the flip side, the time to mark indicator caught my attention way later, and I found that one to be very, very useful. All right, one more note. Those of you that follow me on Twitter and on YouTube, you will notice that I have just tweeted out today a link and a trailer to a documentary I was in. I strongly recommend checking that out to at least support the community. A lot of this stuff is basic. This is more for beginners. This is a documentary you would show to your friends that don't know what Bitcoin is, and it does a pretty good job of explaining it. Here are some of the other people that were profiled in this documentary. I know some of us have been at war with a few of the others over the block size debate. This was filmed over a year ago. There is nothing here about block size. It's not that advanced. It's just about the basics of Bitcoin. So please check that out. Support. It's on iTunes. You can watch it with Bitcoin over at Pop Chest. You can also watch it on Vimeo. I can never pronounce that. And use the discount code TONE, and that should save you some money on Vimeo only. The discount code doesn't, like the Pop Chest, where you can pay in Bitcoin to watch it, isn't really set up for discount codes. So so good. It's up to you guys. But definitely check that out. Hopefully you'll support, leave comments. Let me know what you think. All right, let's just jump right into the markets. This is my look at the futures. Fairly flat across the board. Oil is flat. Gold is down a few bucks. The markets are generally flat. So let's see where we go from here. Okay, here is the S&P 500. And oh, am I running into a memory problem again? Let me close some of these. Should get better as I start closing them. And here's the S&P 500. As you can see, we are at all-time highs on a daily. That is not a reversal candle. So I see nothing here to cause an immediate drop in the price of equities, other than we are a little overextended. So maybe mid this week, it would be nice to have a reversal candle this week to kind of drop things. As you can see, my Fibonacci projection is at 2334, and we closed the week at 2316. So that's only about 20 more points in the S&P 500, and at that point, we will hit a projection in the S&P, and I would like to see a weekly reversal candle. I thought I saw it right here with the doji, but it didn't materialize. Would love to see like a hammer here, or a shooting star, I should say. A hammer would be this. A shooting star would be the opposite of that, so the opposite of this candle, and then we might have a little bit of a pullback. I'm still very bullish stocks in the short to medium term. Here's the Dow Jones, and again, there is a 13 sell right here, which didn't materialize yet, and now we're forming a 6 count, so maybe 3 more candles will give us another 939, but they haven't really led to any significant pullbacks. So if we're going up, we stick with the trend. All right, here's gold, and I zoomed in on this last time I did this video. See a bunch of different Fibonacci's here, and we stopped right on a dime. And I'm starting to get bearish gold. This arrow clearly materialized. We hit it a week or two earlier. It might be a little premature, but I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to put a red arrow in here. I think we're going down, guys. You know what? Let's not get too greedy. Let's point it back to one of the Fibonacci's, which should also be the 50-day moving average, simple moving average. Because I know people have been asking what kind of moving averages I use. They're all simple. And we'll see, especially if we close below Friday's close, and especially below Friday's low. If we get back below this line, that will be pretty bearish for gold. Here's the weekly chart of gold. There's definitely more room to this bounce, which will be a counter trend rally within the bearish trend that's been bearish for a pretty long time. It's been bearish since the all-time high of 1923, if my memory serves me correctly. And this moving average crossover, like I said, wasn't going to lead to much. The 200-day is still quickly going down. 200-week, sorry. We came and touched the 200-week right on the nose, and the 50-week is going to turn, and I'm expecting it to get ugly for gold. But if it does go and make another high, we got room. There's just so much resistance here. You have the 1250 resistance, then you have the 50-week resistance, then you have the trend line resistance, then you have the previous high of 1375 resistance, and then you have the round number of 1400. And if it manages to break all of them, which I do not believe that it will, we can then talk about some kind of bullish momentum in gold. I never called this to be a bottom. I have other videos where I was very surprised by this. I was expecting sub 1,000 gold values in 2016. I am now expecting sub 1,000 in 2017. And if we don't go above 1,400 this year, I'll be expecting sub 1,000 in 2018. And I'll probably keep doing that until we finally get to sub 1,000, preferably down to 700. And if it takes around another 15 years to get there, then it'll take around 15 years to get there. Like, gold needs to bottom, and it needs to bottom in a way that everyone hates gold. So I'm not like optimistic in gold anytime soon. Oil, I've been bullish oil ever since this arrow. I've been actually bullish oil way before that. I put in this arrow when I took my bullish position in gold, and that position has basically been flat, might be up, I don't know, maybe 50 cents to $1. It looks like it's starting to break out to the upside again. I don't know. I'm getting bored, but that's what happens. You get bored, this yellow circle, and then it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks in a row of monster moves in the same direction, which is almost unprecedented. Even this slide never had eight bearish weeks in a row. There was always a positive week in there somewhere. So maybe we'll still go to this declining 200-week moving average, and then we go back down. Let's close that. All right, here's the US dollar, and like, my only word of caution on the US dollar was this divergence between a new high in price of the US dollar versus the lower highs in momentum. But this is also like a giant move back in 2014. I don't even know what caused this. Like, I don't remember. I have no idea. But that's what's causing this divergence. I think this move is legit. I think this move will happen again. I think we're going all the way up to 120 in the US dollar, and it looks like this pullback may have ended. And look, the 50-week moving average is already at a new 10+ year high, and might be a little choppiness here while people get used to Trump being a president, and then the dollar should go up. And then Trump's going to be really pissed that the dollar is going up, and he can't do anything about the exports of the U.S. The U.S. isn't being competitive. Trump is going to try to talk the dollar down. Trump doesn't want a strong dollar. Trump would rather have a weak dollar because that's better for the U.S. economy. But that's not going to happen. So the Fed is going to have to get involved. It might get ugly. If the U.S. dollar gets very, very strong, it's going to be very, very difficult for U.S. corporations. The video isn't good. Okay, am I getting video? Some people are saying that the video is not working. Everything should be fine. Yeah, so everything's good. So I guess it's just some users. Sorry about that. All right, let's close the dollar. Here is the euro. Looks like as the dollar started to go up, the euro is starting to go down. And I'm continuing to be bearish the euro. It's going to get very ugly for the euro. Britain is on its way out. Latest I'm hearing is Greece is starting to cause havoc again, complaining, saying that the European Union is being too hard on Greece. So Greece might just say screw it and try to get out. Keep an eye on France. I mean, if Le Pen wins, goodbye France out of the euro, assuming she sticks to her word and looks to exit the euro. I mean, if France leaves the euro is just going to implode. It'll go to like, it'll go sub parity with the US dollar. So I'm very bearish the euro. Even though I'm bearish the euro, I am bullish the pound. I think the European Union is a mess. I think Britain did its people a favor by getting out. I think the pound was grossly oversold unnecessarily, and it's good for the industries in the UK with the weak pound, but I think it's oversold. So I think the pound would go up. That's why this is a trade that I really liked. I took this trade way too early, lost money on this trade, exited me at the top of the right shoulder. I got in way too early, and it looks like this this standard head and shoulders will form. And this arrow has been around for a long time. So was this right shoulder, has been around for a while. I do think this will materialize. All right, I'm going to close off currency with the Mexican peso only because I'm going to Mexico in about a week and I want to keep an eye on it. It looks like it's pulling back. Looks like 20 is a nice round number, the previous high. And the dollar is just going to strengthen, and that's going to cause some more problems in Mexico. All right, let's talk Bitcoin. Here's the weekly chart. And a new week hasn't started yet, but you can see a major indecision candle. It's not as bad as the indecision candle a few weeks ago, more like a month ago, actually, right at the beginning of the year. And yeah, so on a weekly chart, nothing to worry about. My line in the sand is 915. As long as we stay above 915, we're all good. Here's the daily chart. We are still within the daily bullish channel. Yes, I don't like the momentum is making lower highs while the price is also making a lower high, which signals confirmation. But I drew this arrow when I was doing a presentation in Miami. There's no reason for me to stay away from this arrow. I think Bitcoin Unlimited, I think that everything, I mean, all the, I don't want to use the word propaganda, but all of the, I guess all of this vocal support for Bitcoin Unlimited, I think that's going to slowly go away. I think it will get very expensive to continue put out all this nonsense about how Bitcoin Unlimited is good. And a lot of those people just want multiple implementation of like scaling and multiple developer teams. But I think that's absolutely terrible. This isn't the European Parliament, right? Like this isn't the German election where you have like 8 different parties. And then as long as your party gets more than 5% of the vote, you get some seats and you have some say. And then you need like one party to have a majority. If not, they got to form coalitions. That's not how this works in Bitcoin, okay? You have one team with smart people. If you're smart, you contribute to that team. You submit code, you let them review it. They will put it together. They will test it out. They will put it out for peer review. They will put it through a test net for a longer period of time than many people like in order to make sure there aren't any problems when the code goes live. And there is billions of dollars, hopefully trillions of dollars in the near future on the line. And then this code will get adopted and it will help us with scaling and it will help us with micropayments and it will help us with privacy and fungibility, and we'll get there. So I think SegWit still, I still think SegWit will get in. And the moment there are, I mean, the moment the trader community realizes that SegWit will get in, you will see a massive, massive spike in Bitcoin, probably bigger than this spike, which is why even if we come back to this point right here, my 915 point at the end of February, or even like going into March, we can still like bounce up quickly. And my target remains $2,000 by end of August. We'll see how wrong I am on that one. Here's my hourly chart. We went right back into my channel. We are now slightly out of the channel. I'm not happy about that, but oh well, I don't really control the price. So this spike was another Chinese thing where Bitcoin got frozen and all of that. And I have other podcasts talking about that. Here's the Brave New Coin Liquid Index. This is going to update in about an hour, and the price will be probably right around 1,000. This arrow was looking really, really good from here. So it'll take us a little longer to hit it. I do think that we're going to bounce around and then break out on SegWit news. All right, that's pretty much it. I know that people live chatting while watching this, so it's difficult for me to scroll through it and look for older questions. If you have a question or you asked a question earlier that I missed, go ahead and repost it. So this only took me about 20 minutes. I'll give 10 minutes for questions, and then I'll still cut these in under 30 minutes, which is good. All right, I don't want dead air, guys, so go ahead, throw some questions at me. Oh, what coin is gonna be next on the crypto scam? I don't want to release that. That's gonna starting tomorrow. I was gonna try and do it this weekend, but I didn't get to it. Starting tomorrow, I'm gonna edit it. There's gonna be a lot of editing involved. I'm gonna try to do these differently and more professionally. So I'm gonna keep that a surprise, which project or which coin we're gonna talk about. All right, anything else? I bought $500 of Dash. That's not really a question. Look, there's nothing wrong with trading altcoins and making money. I have no problem with that. Look, I don't have a problem with someone trading altcoins for a living. If they can, I know I can't, but if you can profitably trade altcoins, that's great. There's one thing you have to keep in mind, that you have to be very careful not to end up in a cryptsy situation, because all of your coins can just disappear because cryptsy disappeared if all your coins were on cryptsy, right? So that is a major risk you need to keep in mind if you are trading altcoins. And if you are trading altcoins and you are aware of that risk, I have no problem. I have no problem with anybody doing that. My problem is with people that think that these altcoins actually have a future, right? Like someone saying that Dash is better than Bitcoin, Dash is going to take over Bitcoin, and they're trying to convince people that are new to the space that they shouldn't buy Bitcoin, they should buy Dash. And I'm just using Dash as an example. You can say Monero, you can say Litecoin, you can say anything, right? So when a person says that, well, you should buy Monero instead of Bitcoin because it's better, I will argue with that person saying, why are you in Monero? Why aren't you in OneCoin? OneCoin is better than Monero. OneCoin is better than Dash, right? Because it's the same argument. We don't know if Bitcoin is going to survive, but Bitcoin is like light years ahead of any of these other altcoins as far as security, as far as usability, as far as legitimacy. So my only problem comes with people that think that their coin is better than Bitcoin. If you want to argue with me that the US dollar is better than Bitcoin, you will have a better argument than Monero is better than Bitcoin or that Dash is better than Bitcoin. Gold is a little trickier. If you're going to argue with me that gold is better than Bitcoin, I'll probably argue that one. But I will have a tough time arguing with someone who presents a reasonable case of why the US dollar is better than Bitcoin, because most of the time it is. So you have to talk about specific use cases when it comes to those. Do I think governments or banks are accumulating Bitcoin? No, no, I don't. And it's kind of obvious that they're not, because the US government sold all of the Bitcoin they got from like Silk Road and other confiscations. They're not doing that. Banks aren't doing that either. Banks are pretty regulated. Don't confuse banks with hedge funds. Like a hedge fund can do it because a hedge fund isn't regulated on what assets they can or can't hold. But a bank, no. I mean, banks don't like trade anyway, right? They just don't. Hedge funds trade. I know there's all these conspiracy theories that, you know, JP Morgan naked shorts and all this stuff. No, I don't like conspiracy theories. All right, let's see what else we got on questions. Will LTC SegWit be the final nail in Bitcoin Unlimited coffin? Probably not. I don't think it has much to do with that. If anything, SegWit being on Litecoin they'll spin it, the Bitcoin Unlimited people, they'll spin it saying, see, altcoins are ahead of us. They're gonna scale first. They're gonna totally miss the fact that it's SegWit. They're just, because I don't think they're selling their pitches to a very educated public. Do I think China's influence is getting less? I don't know. Influence in what? I think their influence over the industry, the regulated side of the industry, is going to get bigger. Here's the question, or I guess here's the question you need to ask yourself. The Chinese industry, the exchanges, the businesses, they have to follow regulation, unless like Bobby Lee wants to go to jail, right? Unless what's his name, Star of OKCoin wants to go to jail. So they're gonna have to follow whatever the government says. Now, but here's the thing, right? How much does your population trust your government, right? If China comes out and calls Bitcoin a scam, how many people in China are going to believe their government? And you'd be surprised, right? Because back in like the 40s and 50s, the US population was convinced that nuclear radiation is not dangerous because they trusted their government, right? So it depends how much the people trust their government. That's how much influence China will actually have. I never answered the question on the show. Dash was not a scam. Do you refer to? I don't think that's for me. So I think that's people talking within the chat. Can I elaborate a bit more on the next China's move? What about the possibility they will embrace Bitcoin and all this fuzz is to clean the house and clean the Bitcoin name? No, China is not. The Chinese government is not going to embrace Bitcoin. It's very, very clear. The Chinese government is looking to double down on money laundering and know your customer laws, just like the US is. China also doesn't want to piss off the United States or Russia, right? China is in fairly good relations with Russia. Russia isn't all that favorable to Bitcoin. So China, they're not stupid. The people running China, the politicians, right? Why would they want to give other superpowers like US and Russia, superpowers with a military, sufficient military, why would they want to give them any reason to start trouble? They won't. If anything, China will wait till Russia just can't get attacked together because too many oligarchs, and there's some free market, but it's a rough system. The rule of law isn't as great as it could be. Corruption is still a little high. So Russia hasn't been able to get attacked together after the fall of communism. But it's only been 20 years, right? Give Russia some time. Maybe they'll, get their act together. Now, the US is going to be in financial problems, but after Europe has its financial problems. The US has a little bit of time. And why would China want to shake the boat? Why would they want to, stir the boat up now, right? They'll wait. If the US has some kind of a massive financial crisis, which I think we will, though later than people have been saying. People have been expecting the US to have a financial crisis, 30 years ago. I think it's coming, probably in another decade or so. And after that crisis, then the US, if the US is no longer in a position to tell other countries what to do, then China can do whatever the hell it wants without worrying what the US thinks. So maybe then you can suggest that China would look at Bitcoin favorably as, a way of a better economic system. It also would make more sense to do it in 10 to 20 years, because if Bitcoin is alive in 10 to 20 years, then there is enough value on chain so that your cup of coffee isn't fluctuating in value all that much. In addition, Bitcoin needs to scale by then, right? Like Bitcoin still has like a million technical problems that all need to be resolved. So for now, China is going to try and protect their citizens from Bitcoin by continue doing what they're doing. All right, guys, any other questions? Okay, here we go. Nope, I already answered that one. All right, a lot of chatter in here makes me difficult to find questions. Oh, here we go. Good, someone started with the word question, so that's who I'm answering. If you have a significant amount of Bitcoin and you need it to leave the USA, what country, in your opinion, would be a good option? It depends on you personally. The biggest factor is your family, right? Are you single? Are you male? Do you have a family? Do you want a family? I think those are the biggest factors to answer. I personally really like Vietnam and Thailand. I haven't been to enough countries in South America yet. I've been to Argentina. It's okay. I don't think I would go to Argentina. I would love to check out Colombia, maybe Costa Rica. I always get Uruguay and Paraguay confused, probably because I haven't been to either. I know one is a pretty good option, the other isn't. So look, it'll be obvious once you start Googling which one is a possible destination. You also want to think about what is your motivation for leaving the United States. The United States is not that bad. You can also move to a jurisdiction within the United States that is more favorable to you. You can move to a small town. You can move to a big town. I mean, turn off the TV. Stop listening to the mass media and stay away from over-socialist areas, and you're not going to see all of these ridiculous protests, right? Puerto Rico is a good option if taxes are your problem, because if you live in Puerto Rico, you don't have to pay any taxes. Many states only have a federal tax, and it depends on what your job is. If you have a bunch of Bitcoin and you know how to use it properly, you can kind of get around that a little bit, though I'm not suggesting it. But the biggest factor is your family and how far you want to move away from them. I would not move to anywhere in Europe. I haven't been to Africa yet, but I think it's a little underdeveloped. Japan, I don't know. I haven't been to Japan. Probably wouldn't be my first choice. I'm not sure about China. China still has, I mean, maybe in about 10, 15 years. But I like I said, Thailand and Vietnam are two of my favorite places that I've traveled to so far in the world. I like the Caribbean islands also, but I need something a little bit bigger than that. Also depends how good you are at languages, right? I mean, like in South America, you gotta know some Spanish. Yeah, Chile, Colombia, Argentina. I mean, like I said, I've been to Argentina. Probably not for me. I want to check out Colombia, and I do want to check out Chile. So we'll see how those go. All right, guys. So once again, I want to close off. Oh, I already. Please check out the documentary, Magic Money. The trailer is on my YouTube channel. You can go to magicmoneyfilm.com and you can purchase the film. It's like $5 to watch it. Check it out. And it was great. I was interviewed for this documentary about a year ago, and it's really good for beginners. So check that out. All right. I will catch everyone on my next podcast, which will probably be on Wednesday, and I will try and release the next episode of Crypto Scam sometime early next week as well. All right. Have a good night, guys. Good luck with your trading.